Why? It's so common to ask people what their why is. So, what is my why? It's simple. Because of her. Because I awakened to her within and all around me, and my whole life changed. And I want that for others. I believe a relationship with her is the antidote to our individual and collective difficulty. She is miraculous. So, who is she, you might ask? Well, that's the question, isn't it? She called me and I followed. She touched me and everything changed. What started as a spark became a blazing fire in my soul to know her as intimately as possible and to serve her with my whole being. My first trip to India was in 2010, and I knew in my heart that this was not an ordinary journey, but that I was meeting my destiny. And while it was shrouded in mystery, the calling inside me was undeniable, and I surrendered to that beyond fear and practicality. I had already been deep in esoteric study in the Taoist system, and somehow that led me to yoga, which led me to dance as a means of devotion, which led me to the intimate chambers of Tantra. It was Indian dance that initially got me on that plane, but that was just the key to her vast trove of treasures. I found the goddess there in all of her glory, whereas before I had only seen a flash from the corner of her eyes, or the curl of the corners of her lips, a single gleam off of one of her ornaments, or heard the faint tinkling of her ankle bells, felt her breath on the back of my neck. But India showed me her fullness, for where else on this planet can we find an unbroken living lineage of her worship? I felt entranced in her temples by her grace, lulled into alternate states of consciousness by the sound pulsations of temple bells and Sanskrit chants, incense intoxicating me, lamps lit, flowers laid at her feet, all senses coming alive by her, for her, in her. She led me to the feet of my teachers. She taught me that suffering brings us closer to her, and so does bliss and longing and every other emotion and experience in this matrix of consciousness and energy. She awakened my inner radiance as well as my fortitude. She showed me where I was still trapped and gave me a larger vessel to pour myself into. She opened the gates of wisdom and it began streaming into me. I began the long pilgrimage of healing my own wounds of love and separation, a path that is gory and painful, tender and beautiful, rich beyond measure. I learned her sacred arts of dance, puja, yoga, and tantra, all as means to simply get closer to her. No other agenda but that. She is everything. She is nothing. She is the creation itself and beyond what we can even imagine. All is moved by her. Our lives take place in the vast heart of the Mother Goddess. In my walking this path, I have fallen, I have been paralyzed, I have experienced extreme beauty, and I have found my way again and again. In moments, I am utterly taken by her, and everything falls into place. And most importantly, I keep going. We keep going. And so, my darling, I want to take your hand and show you the way, to take you as far as I can into the beauty of her, where you will have your own encounter, and by that contact be forever transformed. By her touch, you will become more of who you are without all the layers that shroud your true nature. Together, we will dance in the light of her unconditional love and offer to her again and again and again on behalf of our own awakening and the well-being of all. For it is her that binds us and also her who will liberate us. She is the lock and the key and the temple door and the inner sanctum and the Murti. She is the worshipper, the act of worship, and the worshipped. Shall we go on a journey, my love? Have her carefully laid breadcrumbs led you here? Then I welcome you, fellow seeker, to Shakti Temple Arts, an esoteric school where we study her sacred arts and practices in order to know her more deeply as a lived, embodied experience. Here we live as beauty, awaken our divinity, and deepen into the mystery of her through the time-tested lineages of Tantra, temple dance, yoga, and the Taoist feminine arts. I place tilak at the point where the sun and the moon become one. May you know who you really are. Welcome to the temple, beloved.